And let me be freaking clear here, guys. You are never ever going to know it all, and there was always going to be someone better than you.
Remember, your mindset is your perception. Your perception are your thoughts are your feelings. Feelings turn to the way you act, the way you project.
And if you change that thought,
that action is
a projection of all the
directly linked to the way your future will turn out. The thing is, when you have a broke mindset, you don't see the positives to ask questions or be inspired or motivated, because that is blocked by, oh, that guy's car was given to him, or, you know, that's a rental, like all the fucking comments you see online, or like, and I'm like, you're blocking yourself. Alright guys, welcome to another episode of Spill the Tea with your one and only Beau, Drury and Kirsty Waddingham.
Welcome guys, welcome. He's in a bit of a funny mood today, so this is going to be interesting. But today we're going to be talking about some really cool topics, and we're going to talk about the J.O.B, just on broke mindset.
Just above broke.
Well, just on broke, just above. I don't think just above, I think
above,
just on.
Above's A, isn't it?
I don't know. You're the one who just came in here with the freaking above. Wait,
J-O-B.
it is A. Anyway.
That's weird.
It's not weird. See, I told you Beau's in a funny mood today. So broke. Just on broke mindset. Now, we're going to talk about conversations that I've had recently with members of my family and friends that have a job and their level of thinking, and then also people that are going from having a job, then going into business, and they're still taking their job mindset with them. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that and how to break through that to actually become the CEO in your life and actually step above being a business owner who is operating in business, and the mindset that is around this. So everything that we do is, you know, it's 90% mindset and it's 10% strategy.
Let's talk about mindset around like a job mindset. For instance, a job for a lot of people is safety and security, that general income. Business can be up and down. Like you said, what was your meme yesterday?
I put a quote out that says, you know, entrepreneurship is fucking wild, guys. Like you can have like, you know, $0 in your account one day, $100,000 the next day, and be back to $7.97 or the day after, you know. And then that is the level of entrepreneurship. It is up and down. It is, you know, risky. You're investing
constantly
money.
Constantly learning lessons.
And I always say, like, nothing teaches you faster in life than business. Yeah. You will learn more about yourself in business.
It's like a relationship.
100%. You will learn more about, you know, what is coming up for you. Like, you know, when you have, you know, maybe a client or something on social media or whatever that you feel attacked or being attacked, or you are triggered by certain things, you learn so much and you expose so much about yourself.
A lot of people make the money they earn or their business means something about them personally.
That's exactly right.
Which is true. Your business is a product of you. So the way you're showing up for yourself is the way your business will show up. But you know, how many times have I felt crushed and defeated in business, and I'm like, I'll just go back and work for the man. Yeah. Like that was my safety. That was my net. That's my net. Like if I'm jumping, then my risk is like, I'm like, well, if I fall, then
you've always got a plan B. You're always saying that plan B.
But you don't want that. You want to be able to make it like it doesn't matter. That's why when things are really, really bad and you have no safety, and that's why when people rely on their parents or their partners to make them feel a certain way, when they're at rock bottom or whatever, they're wanting alcohol or buying something or someone to make them feel better or give them something, so they've got that sense of insecurity or security. But what I'm getting at here is why entrepreneurs are usually black sheep to the family, because they go outside the box. They don't do the norm. They go and a lot of entrepreneurs have been through a fuckload of trauma because they're actually used to being pushed into pain and uncomfortability and having the mental resilience and resistance to continue and come out of it on top.
But also, like, With entrepreneurs, how they're usually formed and grown is, like you said, there's a level of trauma and there's a level of pain. But also at that time, you're usually young. You're usually a kid. You probably didn't feel like you fitted in.
So you had a dream or something?
So you didn't fit in. People like maybe made fun of you, or, there was maybe bullying around you being different and stuff like that. And at that time when you're younger, that is like, you see that as a problem, as a challenge, as a this doesn't feel good. But as you're an adult, you fucking love not fitting in. I'm 100%, I'm so okay with not fitting in. I'm okay to be outside of that. I actually really love to be alone anyway. And so also in entrepreneurship, you're alone a lot of the time. You have to be best friends with yourself to get through some of the hardest times, because it is fucking lonely at the top. And I truly, truly understand that now. The more we grew, the less we had our friendship group started to dissipate. It was just gone. And we only had a few people. I remember when we were first together, before we got into these businesses, we were going to have the most elaborate wedding. And now I'd be lucky if I invite 5 people.
Yeah, and I think the more healing you do, the more growth you hit, the more success you hit, the more shit you get thrown at you, the more people... It's tall poppy syndrome. If someone's up high, everyone wants to cut you down so you're the same as the rest. The other thing as well is people don't actually wish success on a lot of people. And we found that in Australia as well. And there's not many people, even if they say it, do they really mean it? I think a lot of people want you to be successful, but not as successful as them, because it makes them feel like they're a failure and they don't want that.
And that's so wild, especially in the coaching industry. I 100%, I want my people that in my world, we've got a lot of coaches, a lot of leaders, a lot of people there's people that are already making,
I want to be surrounded by people.
$70,000 to $100,000 months. I want them to be better than me.
I want to be personally surrounded by people doing a lot better than me, so I can be inspired and motivated, but also learn and educate myself and what are they doing? That's
exactly right.
And we literally talked about this video the other day of a guy, and this is a bit controversial, but there was a guy in a Lambo in a suit, pulled up to a petrol station, he got out, and there was this big, overweight, poor-looking lady cleaning the bins. She obviously worked for the servo. And she went up to him and was like, "Nice Lamborghini, it's a shame that you have no license plate on it and you're driving it illegally." And then he laughed and walked off, and he did a video on it, right? And then his video in the car, this was on Instagram or TikTok, he was saying that is a classic form of projection, and that, and it's true, because I'm going to explain it in my terms, because the way he said it sounded like he was being a big ego, like I'm the one in the Lambo, she's the one cleaning the bins, but that's not his point.
Yeah.
His point was that because she felt inferior compared to him, her mind automatically goes to, how can I put him down and make myself feel better? And this is a natural thing that we do in the wild.
Yeah,
if there's
this
a tiger...
This is natural. This is not her actually consciously thinking about this.
No.
This is unconscious programming.
And that's why when someone comes to me with a real negative mindset, I'm like, you're probably seeing a lot of fear, you're in fight or flight mode. Your brain is purposely looking for all the negative and all the bad to keep you safe.
It's a poor and broke mindset.
That's right. And if you're in an unsafe environment, then your brain's going to try and find something negative and then focus on that to keep you safe. And if she can bring him down, it can bring her up or underneath him. So if there's a tiger in front of you, you want to slash its throat before it gets to you, or run, or whatever you need to do, whatever your coping thing is. But the thing is, what I was talking about someone else the other day with this, when I went into the comments, everyone was like, "Oh, what? So just because you got a Lambo, you're allowed to break the law?" And then someone else is like, "Oh yeah, this guy's so full of himself." And then someone in the comments said, "All the broke people in the comments though." Yeah. And I was like, so true, because... And I got nothing wrong with the lady. She's making her way and she's doing what she needs to do.
That's not
but she's in a job mindset.
Yeah.
That's right. My thing was, a smart broke person would go, fuck a guy in a Lambo, a guy in a suit.
How'd you get that?
Hey, bro, what do you do?
What do you do?
What do you do? And he might go, I did crypto. And you're like, tell me more. I know I know you're a busy man, whatever, but what have you done? Can I get your contact? Can I?
We're also when we're like that, we're a victim of our circumstances and our environment. And
that's right.
In order to get out of that, we need to challenge that. I didn't come from, my family aren't motivational. They aren't, they are not people who are into self-development. However, my dad is, my real dad, he is. He actually got me into Tony Robbins, but he is a person that buys every new self-development thing. He has every new technology. He's a very, very wealthy man. He has everything new, but he never follows through. And I am addicted to self-development. I have been ever since I was 19 when I, or 20 when I fell pregnant with Carson. So I had to challenge everything in my family. I had to challenge, I had to go against my mum. My mum is an amazing person, but she has a very negative mindset. Everything is a problem. And, broke people, poor people will always see the problem in everything. And a person with a rich mindset will always find a solution for every problem.
That's right.
And so there's always going to be that. And it brings me to the conversation.
That's 100% mindset.
100%. And I had the conversation with my brother yesterday. It was actually funny. I was sitting there and I was back and forth talking to a mentor that I'm going to do some coaching with. And I was going back and forth, and my brother said to me, Kirst, you guys are already doing amazing. What do you need a mentor for? And I said, because I need to do better. I need more. I need to break through more of some of my own stuff. I don't know it all. I don't have assistance. And let me be freaking clear here, guys. You are never, ever going to know it all, and there was always going to be someone better than you. And I'm truthfully...
Things are changing too. Marketing
things are changing so fast. And also...
Ads are changing.
The reason why we get results so fast ourselves and for our clients is because we're consistently upskilling. We're consistently putting ourselves in uncomfortable situations. We're consistently saying yes when we're terrified.
And as soon as we learn something, we're straight into our community. Hey, everyone, we've got this fucking awesome strategy. Yeah. We're going to share it with you all.
Exactly right.
You know what I mean?
And just park that for a second. But we had some shit happen a couple of days ago where our YouTube channel got deleted. Okay? So our YouTube channel got deleted because it was saying that we were scam and all this kind of stuff. All right?
Copyright.
It was actually scamming and something like that, or untruthful or something like that. So anyway, and I was like, holy shit, this is 18 months of our work. And also we use we use this to put our video hosting on for our communities so they get to watch the videos. And these are breath work, meditations, hypnotherapy,
some are
Zoom.
10-minute videos.
Yeah, these are all of our Zoom recordings in our program and stuff like that.
Long.
So everything, right? Now, the learnings here were that we had absolutely no backup. The second learning is that we had no SOP. So what was actually happening was our one of our VAs who was actually editing our videos, she's editing them on her computer, she was uploading them and then deleting them.
And then deleting them off her computer.
I didn't know this because, in business, there's multiple layers, multiple hats that you wear in business. And I'm not over all of them because I've got multiple things, and so does Beau. And we have, we employ people to do certain positions and jobs. Now, at the end of the day, everything always comes back onto you. It's your business, your life, everything is your fault. So please understand that. Stop blaming the world. Everything is your fault. My fault was that I had no SOPs for the process for our uploads. So anyway, this happened. I appealed it, and I got my account back within literally 10 minutes. Okay, so I appealed it. They said, yeah, okay, cool, we've made a mistake. Went through all this stuff. Yeah, cool, we got our account back. But I told the community, I said, okay, so here is the learnings. And I told them straight away, this is what happened. The learnings here is that I didn't have any backup. The learnings is that I did not have any SOPs. I did not have our videos stored in our Dropbox and anything like that.
What's SOPs?
But we were all, so system operating procedure. So, so a system that you have, so you know exactly where everything is.
You
so
upload the video, then a backup video goes into a Dropbox.
And then we've got our content, okay?
Yeah.
Now, that was the first thing. The second thing is that we didn't know that side of the business well enough. So now we go, okay, cool. We're changing platforms. What happened was, in that moment though, when this happened, because it was a little bit of a freak out moment, then we took a deep breath in. Straight away, we were like, what's the solution to this?
Also, can I just say...
Hold on. This is the difference between...
Am I even on this podcast?
This is the difference between having the mindset of reactive to proactive. Okay, so in that moment right there is when we go, okay, cool. What is the solution? Other people that still have that broke mindset is like, oh my God, the world's fucked. Oh my God, I've just lost everything, blah, blah, blah. You cannot be in a freak out mode all the time. You must compose yourself. And this is why our teachings are so important.
Our first conversation
our programs.
Was awesome, clean slate.
Yeah.
Let's go into the podcast studio this weekend and let's create all new content.
Yeah.
And even though that was hard work, we're like, okay, new messaging. We're like, it's going to be fresher. Because
we're already bringing out Weeb Success 2.0. So we're like, hey, we'll move it forward.
All
that happened was like, okay, we'll move it forward.
2.0.
It just meant that like, okay, Kirsty's going to be like hard in the trenches again for the next probably couple of weeks. And I was like, we're going to Vegas and we'll talk about this soon. We're going to Vegas in a couple of weeks. And so there was all of that kind of stuff going on. But we were instantly like, okay, cool. Talk to my
actually
AA.
both, I feel like, we handled it really well, and I was like,
because the tools we've got,
and just to reiterate,
and we've been fucked in business so much times now. Like, it's
I know. I've said that word wrong twice. Reiterate. How do you say it?
I have no idea what you're trying to say, baby. What is it?
Let me just go back and talk about like it's like all of our programs, all of our recorded stuff for like the last year was completely deleted on YouTube. So we were like, holy fuck, what do we do? We've got all of our recorded sessions, all of our Zoom sessions. Yeah. We do 3 Zooms a week. We're about to implement 4. But, those were fine because they're all in a Dropbox and they can be uploaded, which is time consuming.
And that's also by us because we
that's not too... We can, I'll upload the last 2 months of stuff and whatever. But the thing that was really, all of our... We had we've got 10 breathwork techniques. We've got 10 manifestation meditations. We've got courses with videos on how to do certain things. So I was actually sitting there and going, holy shit, that's a lot of videos, and the timing to record them, and then the editing, and then the uploading. And
it's a lot of work.
And I was like, holy shit, this is actually going to be a big fucking...
Big job. But the truth was it was the mindset around it. And this is why I was saying business is 9% mindset. That could have absolutely been a freak out moment, got into a spiral, all that kind of stuff. And I think that's where you and me are, you and me both handle that very well, but you and me have a very different mindset. Like, I'm so used to being under pressure. I'm so used to having consistently in solution focus when I'm in the trenches.
100%. Can I tell you another thing where it's mindset? Mm-hmm. So a lot of people might have thought that they looked unprofessional or looked stupid.
Yeah.
But the first thing you did was went into our community and said, hey guys, our fucking YouTube channel has been deleted. Every single thing that you have access to now is deleted.
Yeah.
We're working on it. We're staying positive. We'll be back with you ASAP. Where a lot of people might have been thinking, fuck, I've got 100 and I've got hundreds of people in my online program. Yeah. They're going to fucking blame me. They're going to be angry at me. They take it personal.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we didn't do that. We were like, hey community, this is what's going on, out of our control. We do apologize. We're fucking working on it. And if we can't get it back up, we're going to fucking create something 10 times better for you over the next few weeks. And so we didn't make it mean something about us.
And you know what? When you've got a great community, and this is where is where there's a difference between a boss and a leader. Okay, so a leader leads. Okay, a leader also takes responsibility, and then it allows other people to be like, because this will happen. Things will happen in your business, and you're like, my mentor did this. I'm just going to address my community like that because. People are people, right? And people they just want to be communicated. The worst thing is if they went into the classroom and they went to go click on a video because they needed to do a nighttime meditation, all of a sudden it's not there. Like, hey, what's going on? It's better to always address and lead from a place of leading,
Or they were starting one of the challenges and they printed out all the courses the day before and went to watch all the videos.
And I was like,
it would have been a major fucking 100%.
And we've got a lot of new people coming in at the moment as well.
The last 20 people that have joined We Breathe Success are absolutely... go-getters, super positive, full of resources, business owners, entrepreneurs. Good to go.
And this is where we're at.
And do you know what? Every single one of those 20 people that have joined us over the last couple of weeks are fucking absolutely... You had one girl within 24 hours of joining, you had a call with her, and she said her whole relationship's turned around. And
let's just talk about that for a second. So again, I just want to say this. So this lady... amazing lady, very, very successful, already making between $70,000 and $90,000 a month. So on paper, she's great, a high achiever, an incredible human being, but unhappy. And so she came to me and she said, look, on paper, I've got all this kind of stuff, and I understand this more than anyone, but I'm feeling unfulfilled, I'm unmotivated, I'm not happy, I feel angry inside and stuff like that. So jumped on, had a Zoom, she signed up, and then she's one of our premium clients. So I did a one-on-one session with her and we worked through some of the blocks, and we actually went right back to her childhood, and we do a lot of I do a lot of hypnotherapy, NLP, unconscious reprogramming, understanding where this actual disconnect is coming from. And so when we keep coming back, the word that kept coming up was abandoned. And she's in a relationship now, in a beautiful, beautiful relationship, but there's some situations that are in her environment that she can't really control. In order to control it would be to leave the relationship. So I said to her, it's got nothing to do with the outside. It's everything to how you're feeling inside and what this is triggering with you. And it always comes back down to abandonment. So we took her back. We did a lot of unconscious reprogramming, really bringing her back to the present, but also making her feel the feelings of remembering what it was like to feel happy. And so we did future progression and things like that as well. So it was a really, really awesome session. The next day, she sent me a message and she said, I just want to say, I've been doing in therapy weekly for the last 9 months and nothing is compared to that one session with you. 1 hour, guys. She's like, I was at the gym this morning. I feel happy. I feel lighter. My relationship, she already said to me, the girl that I'm seeing, she was like, I can feel the changes in you. Like, what happened? She's
the way we incorporate breath with hypno, with our experience, with how we understand people, is why we get such great change so quickly.
And I get this all the time. Like, she's this one case and she's amazing. Like, that was after one session. 24 hours later, she sent me like, I slept the best I've ever slept in a really long time. She's having sleeping problems. And so all of this happened because we got out of her shit. We started to break through that. I've also got another client who, she came on and she's also a 7-figure client and she's doing absolutely amazing. But you can't see what you can't see when you're in the shit. And so I was in this conversation with her and we were sorting out her meta ads and she said something to me around the fact that she chose to do a one-on-one with the lady because she didn't want her to go into her IP. And I think I may have even brought this up in one of the other episodes. And I stopped her and I said, are you in fear of losing? And she said, of losing, your clients to her. She said, absolutely. And she went through this thing and I said, okay, cool, we need to clear this block. Because I said, this is actually preventing you from going further in life. This is actually preventing you from having more opportunities and having the right people in your container. Because for me, I have no fear with people taking my IP. In fact, I say take it. Like people are allowed to take it. Because I don't have any fear. I don't have any.
This conversation on the last podcast.
Yeah, I don't have any insecurity or anything like that. So,
Plus, we want to change the world, not one or two people, right?
That's exactly right.
It's a network effect.
It's a chain reaction. And so, again, most of the problems in business is not a strategy problem, it's a mindset problem.
That's right. And that's our new messaging.
We want everyone to feel happy. We want everyone to feel confident and successful within themselves because confidence leads to success and success leads to everything that you want in your life. And also reversing that, when you're confident and successful, you are happy because we're not confident and successful without being happy. We're just like,
we also show people, like, when we ask people what makes them happy, they usually give us a bunch of things that's pleasure.
Yeah.
Pleasure short-term pleasure, short-term dopamine, short-term
until
excitement.
You start to break that
I'm like,
down.
happiness is long-term and deeper.
But happiness is also, guys, it is a work in progress. It's not possible to be happy 24/7.
That's exactly right.
That's not how we're meant to be. We're not meant to be. You're meant to go up and down.
We're designed to feel stress and challenge and stuff. That's why when we become too comfortable.
But we don't grow in happiness.
That's right.
We grow in discomfort. We grow in shit.
And that's the problem.
You weren't ever so fucking happy. You're like, oh God, I learned my best lessons when I was like,
laying in my bed, Netflix,
feeling amazing, blah, blah.
Food,
like that's not where you learnt lessons. You learnt the lessons in the fucking trenches of the shit, in the depth of the shit coming out in all fucking possible directions. And you're like, wow, that was incredible.
A human being gets a lot of chemical release like dopamine and serotonin from a sense of achievement and pride and feeling proud of themselves. And you don't feel proud of yourselves when you're not doing anything. And human beings always want more. Jim Jeffries, the comedian, he once said his goal, similar to mine, he wanted to do a comedy show with a certain amount of people.
You want to do a comedy show?
No, I did breathwork.
Oh, you said.
But I'll do comedy too. That's actually one of my things that I've always wanted to do.
You should definitely do comedy.
I know. I'm a stand-up comedian. I love it. But he did like 1,000 people, and he was like, "Fuck yeah, I hit my goal." And then he's like, "All right, what's next? All right, well, I'm gonna do 10,000." And then he worked really hard, and then he did 10,000, and then he felt like, he was an overachiever, which a lot of coping mechanisms are because people overachieve because they want to be accepted and loved because they didn't have that when they were a child. That's right. But that's why entrepreneurs are great when they've had fucked up parents and things like that. No offense, but most entrepreneurs really successful people.
I hate when people say no offense because you absolutely mean offense. It's one thing to have a business or even the best product or service, but let's be real. When No-Face Jackie 32 jumps on Instagram throwing those nasty comments and you make it mean something about you, It doesn't matter how good your business is, you will crumble. That's why you need us.
Welcome to We Breathe Success, the ultimate experience for aspiring business owners, entrepreneurs, and coaches who are ready to break through to the next level.
Hi, I'm Kirsty Waddingham.
And I'm Beau, Drury.
We're not just any mindset business mentorship. We are the world's best when it comes to mindset, breakthrough, and transformation.
Our approach combines breakthrough breathwork, powerful mindset techniques, manifestation, and strategic business coaching, setting you up for each week for success and action.
If you're truly serious about unlocking explosive growth, you're in the right place.
Success starts with one essential foundation, your mindset. Without it, even the best business strategies will fall apart.
That's why we go deeper than traditional coaching. We offer advanced biohacking and mindset reprogramming.
Your network is your net worth, and now you have access to ours. With all of this, success isn't just a possibility, it's your only option.
We're here to help you break through your old limits, step into extraordinary success, and create unstoppable momentum for growth. We cover it all: mindset, somatic strategy, community, and connection.
So are you ready to be the leader, visionary, and powerhouse that you were meant to be? Click the link below. Let's book a call. Well, I'm saying it's a good thing. I don't want to offend you, but at the end of the day, hey, if you fucking had a fucked up childhood,
use it.
Great.
It's great.
Great.
Like,
it's probably going to push you to do things. And that's why I say like ADHD and things like that aren't a setback. A lot of people's flaws are actually what help them in business. Richard Branson has dyslexia. Like most entrepreneurs you talk to,
have ADHD,
or they've had depression or anxiety.
PTSD,
they've been broke,
DV, alcohol, drug abuse, like all the things. Yeah, addiction.
Addiction is a main one because if you can be addicted to alcohol, you can be addicted to fucking making money.
Addicted to sex,
right?
yes, yeah.
So pleasure, you can be addicted to pleasure.
That's been my whole life. Like, I'm on an 8-day fast as of today, and I'm addicted to. I'm actually addicted to doing hard things. Yeah. And I'm really trying to work on that mindset, but it also works for me. And this is the crazy thing. And I'm gonna go into the job thing in a second, but
I need to talk on something else.
One thing on this is that my whole life has been hard and struggle, and chosen hard and struggle. Like, I chose to do drugs and alcohol. My life was hard. I chose to get into entrepreneurship. Life is hard. Don't get me wrong. I have huge amount of success as well. I have a huge amount of happiness and I have a lot of fulfillment. But my attachment is, you must work hard for money, and if you work hard, then you get. System. That's my belief system, and this is something that I'm truly changing at the moment. However, there's always concrete evidence for myself. When I work and put in a massive output, I do always get a really good return.
Of course, yes, you do.
And so, but at the sacrifice of my family, sacrifice of my relationship,
time and stress
and things like that.
But choose your hard too, right?
Choose your hard.
Being broke is hard. Being rich is hard.
Being
fat is hard and lazy, and being fit is hard work. Like, choose your hard. Like, everything is going to be, there's always going to be hard in your life, but if you can take control of the choice of your hard, and that's why we go back to when you were really depressed or anxious or had issues, you would go chuck yourself in an ice bath because that's harder than the emotional pain that you were currently going through, but you could choose that hard. Yeah. And you get to control how long you sit in that hard for, and then when you get out, you felt more in control. Yeah,
and that's totally true. Like, not long ago, I sat in an ice bath for 10 minutes, but, I was just sitting in the cold. Because you're hard as nails. Because it was hard as nails, yeah. And, and this, again, goes back down to mindset. And, I'm always proven, like, when I go hard on things, like, I get the results. Like, I'm doing an 8-day challenge, 8-day fast that I chose to do yesterday because I have a massive addiction again to sugar. I just did my 21-day challenge. I felt amazing. Then what happened? Life happened. We had lots of birthday parties and stuff like that, and I fell back into that habits, the default settings, the things that felt good. And also, when I'm in a massive hard work phase and season of my life, that goes with coffee, that goes with cake, that goes through the carbs and sugars to keep myself going. And we all know that if I go to the gym and train and do breath work and ice baths and saunas, if I did that for a 1 hour and 1.5 hours in the morning, I'm going to feel a lot better than going straight to work, sitting at my computer, drinking coffee, eating the shit. But it's a program, right? So I'm working on smashing and changing the outdated program within
inside of me. If you do 10 hours of stressed out, tired, anxiety-filled work, okay, yeah, you're going to get some shit done. But what if you did 3 hours of regulated, creative, happier work? You're going to get a lot
And I'm going to make better decisions. Like, this week I have made, I've worked extremely hard, but I've also made irrational decisions.
Right. And it doesn't have
and
to
I've
be
also,
like that.
If I had slowed down, like, here's an example. I was trying to find my bathing suit. I was in a, hyper focus, like, gotta go to fucking gym, gotta go to work. Couldn't find my bathing suit. But, a boy was like, are you sure it's not in your bag? I checked my bag, had a look.
But that was like 2 hours of fucking around, then you didn't end up going to the gym.
I didn't end up going to the gym. Everything was flustered, and I was like, I've got to go back to work now. Like, I don't have time for this. And then at night time, Beau was going through my bed and was like, babe, your fucking bathing suit is here. Did you look? And I was like, yeah, I did. Now, had I been regulated, had I been more regulated, I would have slowed down and seen that, and then I would have gone, and so
got into
the lessons are here for us as well. Even though we're in this field, like, we can still, like, it can still not always go to plan.
Can I just say, when like a business owner joins We Breathe Success and jumps in, like, the first thing I do is like a life audit. I'm like, all right, what does your mornings look like? What does this look like? And they're like, that doesn't matter. Like, I just need more systems, more automations. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, cool. I'm going to work on that soon, but I need to get you in line first. And then they're like, all right, well, I'm not in the gym at the moment. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing any breath work. I'm not drinking water. I'm eating shit food. I'm like, okay, like, I don't like being called a life coach because it's icky to me, but we need to sort your life out first. And once I get them on track mentally, physically, and embodying, and then I look at their business and then I go, all right, let's tighten all this up. Then once you, like, because it's a vortex. Once one thing starts working well, everything's a reflection of you.
It's like a wheel. Like, if one 100%. Spoke is out, then you're going to be a little bit rocky.
And that's why, like, most business coaches will just come in and be like, this is what you need to be doing in your business. And, like, if they're already overwhelmed, procrastinating,
if you're not regulated,
feeling not good enough,
if you're not regulated and all that kind of stuff and not using these things in place, you know what? And one thing it reminds me of, like, when I was a personal trainer, I used to work in Calgary. I used to work with lots and lots of people, and this beautiful girl who's a really good friend of mine, still at this stage, one of my best friends, J.O.B. She came in and she was like, okay, cool, I want abs. And I was like, okay, cool, so we're not going to do any sessions on abs. And she was like, what the fuck? I was like, what we need to do is we need to nail your nutrition. We need to do some over body work so we can lose the fat and the abs will come out.
That's right. Like a lot of guys who want to build more muscle, they'll tell you, you want to build your arms, your chest, your core, everything, you got to work more legs.
More legs, yeah. And the legs are the biggest, muscle, and they're also burning the most calories. So we did a lot of all body workouts and things like that. Legs also is
the biggest muscle in your body. So the more you work out, the more testosterone that's pumping 100%. Into your body, blah, blah, blah. So you know what I mean? Like, sometimes people are focusing on the wrong thing for the wrong reason.
Well, no, you're focusing on what you want. You wanted abs and thinking that if I trained more abs, I'm going to get abs. It's not the truth. We had to take it all the way back. We needed to burn the calories in order to get the abs to come out.
Sometimes with business, too many people are focusing on the money.
That's exactly right.
And it's not the money. I'm like, hang on. Look, that's why our motto is people first, money second.
Yes.
And the more you show up for the people and give them more of an experience, customer journey is number one for us. Mm-hmm. We show up with videos and voicemails when we talk to people on social media, things like that. And it's not because we want their money. It's because we want the result.
Yeah.
So result first. And once you give the results and...
Once people also start getting the results, now they're starting to feel confident. So you get the results, you feel confident, you're like, I feel good about myself and all that stuff, and as a chain reaction.
It'll come. But
the money will always come if you've got purpose and impact.
I want to talk about how, just before we were saying about how, like, your flaws can be your push in business. Mm-hmm. Like, for me, my ego, ego can be used for good as well. We don't want to go into what exactly ego is because it's a big conversation. But my ego got me on stage. I was like, there's nothing that's going to stop me. I want to be up there. And also, at a part of my life, there's a pro and a con to everything. Everything has a duality. But there was a positive to me seeking validation in my business because I wanted to be the best coach and give the best results because I wanted my clients to like me.
Yeah.
That was a very bad part of my life because I was seeking validation from my clients.
It wasn't bad, it was a learning.
Of course it was a learning. And, I felt in that time powerful and it wasn't that I wasn't doing it for the wrong reasons, but I was focusing on myself instead of the client, where now, like, since doing hypno and NLP, I'm focusing so much on them They're the professional, not me.
That's it.
They have all the answers. I don't. They know everything.
Right.
I don't.
You know more about you than anyone else does.
That's right. So I just act dumb now.
Yeah.
And just ask the right questions.
You just ask the right questions.
And they're like, I never thought of it like that.
That's what life is about, asking the right questions.
Not giving the right advice.
Yeah, not giving the advice, like asking the right questions.
The best coaches know this. And if you're a coach or you're a therapist or whatever you are, even if you do Reiki, if you have someone in your presence that you are communicating with to help them get to a certain goal, you should never give advice. You should never give false hope. You should never give false advice. You should never tell them how to live, how to do things. You can point people
in the right direction.
Oh, you can, but if you can do that with asking the right questions. If you are smart, if you know hypnotherapy, if you know NLP, if you know how a brain works, you can ask the right questions instead of telling them the right answers.
Every single person, they have the answers. When we're working with clients, and then people are like, oh my God, like, fuck, what?
Like, I'm fat, you should go to the gym. It's like, but why are you fat? What do you want to change?
But what got you here?
What are you feeling?
How do you want to feel?
And what does that word mean to you?
Yeah.
And then you start opening up all these parts of their brain and they're okay, what would happen? What could you do? Well, I could start dieting. Okay, I got John. And how would that make you feel? Yeah, good. And where in your life have you felt that before? Well, I've felt it here. Okay, well then when do you want to start? Right now. And then you're like, okay, done. And you're like, holy shit, you just changed my whole perception on my weight in 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly right. Because people, you are confined by
they never ask the right questions.
You're confined by them. Yeah, the pieces.
And imagine being a coach that's like, all right, we'll go to the gym. They just push back and they're like,
okay,
I already fucking know that.
Yeah, it's
and then they leave just like that was a waste.
It's like when a guy says, just relax.
Oh, well.
What
would you feel if you were relaxed?
Yeah, I'm going to kill you.
and what do you do when you're relaxed?
I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
He's
Can
dead.
I just say,
Beau's dead.
I want to quickly go back to that woman because you went on a rant. The one holding the trash bag, saying stuff about the guy in the Lamborghini, the star of this podcast. The thing is, when you have a broke mindset, you don't see the positives to ask questions or be inspired or motivated because that is blocked by, oh, that guy's car was given to him or, that's a rental, like all the fucking comments you see online. And the biggest one for me is you see this young guy, he's in his 20s, he's a coach or an entrepreneur or he's got a, he's into crypto or whatever and he's driving a Lambo and everyone in the comments saying this is a scam. And I'm like, you're blocking yourself. I see this kid and I'm like, what's he doing? Yeah, I'll send him a message. Cool. Hey, bro, love your channel, whatever. We connect. He taught me some shit, and that's what's crazy. Like when I first got a business coach, we spent $10,000 on a business coach and it made me feel sick. I'm like, what am I going to get out of this? Within 3 months, we made 80 grand on an online program that we didn't have. We were just running events. We were just showing up. And they're like, why aren't you doing this? And we're like, I don't even know how to do that. And they're like, well, we're going to show you. Then they showed us. Then we ran an event, sold 100K in one day at an event with tactics.
And it's crazy. And we upped our prices and stuff.
Yeah, and we didn't know our price point was wrong. And we didn't know until someone told us. We couldn't sell any of our programs. And they said, raise your price. And I said, well, I can't sell one anyway. But now that I look back at it, my thing is what I say to clients now. I'm like, imagine someone try to sell you a Louis Vuitton bag for $3.
Yeah.
A brand new Louis Vuitton bag.
You're automatically going to think it's
You're automatically think, this is...
You're not going to be able to give me the value and stuff like that.
And also, you're not going to treat that bag with respect. You're not going to treat that bag... When you walk in a Louis Vuitton and
when you
spend
pay $10,000
on a Louis Vuitton bag, you instantly you put it in the fucking... in the silk bag at night time.
It sits on the shelf.
You wear it differently when you walk around the airport.
You feel differently when you're wearing it. You have it like you're upright. You're in that rich bitch energy.
You feel it, and you want to show it off and blah blah blah, and you want to tell people the price.
But also, it's because you're making.
This is my bag. I paid $10,000 for this. Yeah. You don't want to tell anyone you paid $3.
Yeah.
So for us, it was a mindset thing. Plus, when you raise your value, you attract people who show up. You attract better people.
We then attracted the perfect clients.
Perfect clients.
Now, one thing I want to say. So yesterday, I was talking with my brother about investing in a coach. So I was back and forth, and this is where I'm going to say, like, I am an entrepreneur. I've always been a risk taker. So are you. My brother is he's a play it safe, got a great job, good money, owns his home, has the good car, everything is systematically quite perfect, but safe. Okay, so I'm sitting with him. I was actually getting a massage done. I'm back and forth talking to this coach, and it's $5,000 to do 2 months, 8 weeks of coaching with this person. All right, and I'm going back and forth, and I'm reading all this stuff, and I'm reading it to Corey, and this is where I started talking about before. And Corey says to me, "But your business is already going great. Like, why would you want to do this? Like, I don't understand. What do you even need this guy for? I said, because I need to be better. He's like, yeah, but just do this, blah, blah. And I said, if that was the case, Corey, then I would do that. But the thing is, you don't know what you don't know. And the reason why you have a coach and a mentor is because they can see things that you can't see and your blind spots and things like that. And also, this is where I said before, there's always people better than you. And if you are not consistently putting yourself into rooms that can elevate you, inspire you, see things that you can't see.
We can also teach our community what we're about to learn.
100%. And everything is all about bringing in knowledge and skills and getting more and then, and giving that to our community. And so I was going back and forth with this coach and, he's very, very well known. He has, made over $100 million in software, in 3 software exits. He has a book that he's released, which is super good. Like, I've read the book and super good. And he has worked with multi-million coaches, and he makes $2 million a month in his coaching containers. Okay. And so still in Corey's mind, being a job
mindset,
it's crazy for him. And so I said, okay, cool, I'm going to spend the $5,000. And he's like, what? No, you're not. And he's like, Kirsty, why? And I was like, Corey, I love you, but this is the difference between you and me. You cannot see the value and investing in yourself and pouring in yourself to expand. Like, I try to get my family into businesses and things like that all the time. And I'm like, oh, you should do this. I can help with your marketing. Like, you've got everything at your fingertips, but still there's scarcity. For us, $5,000 for 2 months is completely achievable, and I think it's warranted.
I'm excited of what's going to come from it.
100%. We've paid $10,000 to be in certain rooms. We've paid $15,000 for rooms. We've paid $10,000 for other coaches.
We've paid $15,000 to be in a room that we never even sold one thing at, but my fucking WhatsApp is got some contacts all over Dubai now.
Amazing connections and
this
networks
is exactly
and stuff
why
like that.
When you talk about this sort of stuff with your family, like the same thing with the woman at the servo, with the fucking guy in the Lambo. When I was in Dubai, I got invited out to a car cruise, right? And I was there and I just seen Lambo, Ferrari, Urus, like supercars, hypercars, like all pull up. And I just seen all these young guys get out. UK, Australian, some were Arab, some were Emiratis, like all these different people. And my eyes just lit up, like I'm like inspired. I went to this black Ferrari that I absolutely loved. And this young guy jumps out and I'm going, bro, this is your car, right? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like,
what are you
fucking mad. And I didn't do any suck holding. Like I see everyone as we're worth the same. Like we are. Everyone's the same value. Like I'll be able to do something that he can't. Like we all look up and down to that's why we say live center. But I looked at him as a normal human being and we had a fucking awesome chat. Then we went out and he offered me a coffee. He goes, come over, bro, let's have a chat. And he was so humble and we sat down, I had a water, had a coffee, and I just picked his brain about everything. And then he was more interested in what I was doing. He's like, fucking breathwork and mindset, like, cool, man, let's link up. But for me, I'm like, this I'm seeing not jealousy, not hate. I'm seeing an opportunity to be inspired, right?
Yeah.
He was like 21 years old. He owns like 2 Ferraris, lives in Dubai, and he's into crypto trading and has a few businesses. And I'm like, awesome. Then I got his contact, and I'm like, let's catch up. Let's stay in touch.
That's exactly right. Well, we've spent $10,000 on a coach that I opened up his container and I was like, fuck, this is not for me.
That's right.
Tried to get back out of it. I couldn't. And so, but what that actually got me was, 9 months down the track, it ended up, I was in Arizona. I got to speak on stage. So everything has always led me to something
awesome.
better.
We spoke in America in front of 2,000 people.
Now I've got like so many great contacts in America. Like we're about to go back to America. We've got a lot of contacts and stuff and things that are going to be happening in the second half of this year. Now, for me, I'm consistently investing. I'm not a person who just scrolls the gram. I'm not that person. I'm always looking at upskilling. I'm doing I've got another marketing course I'm going to be joining this week. We do NLP, we do hypnotherapy. I'm always in mentorships. I'm always striving to be putting more into me and understanding more about me for myself, to also be a better leader and coach for other people, to be able to give more value to my community.
That's right.
And I think it's super important. And I said to Corey, the problem is when you work in a job, you don't feel there's any need to level up or to grow because you are at a ceiling. I said, you can't get any further than that. Maybe you will go up a little bit more, maybe make about $10,000 more.
Pay rises.
Now, also, then what happens here is that when the job person, the J.O.B. person leaves and they go, yep, I'm going to start a business. And you get into the business and at the beginning it's fucking amazing. You're excited, you're pumped, you've got this new life, you've got the idea, all the stuff, and you're feeling incredible. And then life happens. And then maybe you didn't get the sales quicker than you thought you were, or it didn't go as bang as what you thought because you watch so much Instagram of these, $50,000 launches that people are doing.
But they don't show all the hardship.
And they don't show all the hardship. They don't show up like all the things that didn't go to plan, or, maybe that's not even 100% truthful. But you're also bringing the J.O.B. mindset into the business. And this is where also we start working with people to move from job business up to CEO in their life. And what I mean by that is the actual CEO in their life, where you actually raise above and you go, okay, cool, what do I need to do for myself? What systems do I need to bring in? What people do I need to bring in? How do I detach the hard working for money to get the right people in to help build the business? And so when we go from job, there's 3 steps. You go job, business, CEO, and unless you're breaking through those patterns and spending a fuckload of money on mindset coaches, on therapies, on alternative things, putting yourself in different environments, you are not going to change. You have to become someone you have not been yet. In order to do that, you have to do unprogramming of who you are right now. Because who you are right now is making decisions based on what you know, feel, safety, and who you are right now. To make decisions on someone you haven't been yet before, you have to break through the conditioning and the situation and the challenges and stuff that you are facing.
We literally spoke to Corey yesterday about. I said, well, what are you good at? And he said, well, he's so high up in his job, and he's and then he really likes poker, and he's learned so much. And I'm like, well, imagine that all your poker skills and that was a business. And he goes, yeah, but that's taken years. I'm like, but so have we. We're still learning and growing. Like, we're still leveling up now.
But he's actually saying that it will take him years longer to learn more about poker in order to start. And I'm like, just start.
Yeah, learn the lessons.
Just do something. Start a business, learn some lessons. His thing is also, he holds on to money. He holds on to money. So it's like, I don't want to let go of that. When he's doing even his poker tournaments, he is a very, very good poker player. And I will say this, he is strategic. He has won a lot of competitions. Tournaments, that's the word. He has won a lot of tournaments of that. But he's like, it's X amount of money to buy. And I'm like, okay, cool. But the return could be massive. But
and even if you don't win, every time you play a poker tournament, you are gaining experience.
Not only that, you're connecting, you're networking, you're doing the fucking reps, guys.
That's why I say when people focus on the money, it's the wrong thing.
It's the wrong thing.
The money will come.
The money will always come.
The business will come.
And money will always come and go. There's trillions and quadrillions of words that I don't even know to express how much money there is in this world. Every single person can have this, but you need to fucking break through your broke mindset.
Let's talk about the job mindset for a second. This is one thing I get a lot. I'm happy in my job. They like it. And I'm like, I think there's a difference between they dangle a carrot enough, they treat you just well enough, they pay you just enough so you actually believe that you're looked after. Now, my workplace love me. Everyone there loves me. If you died tomorrow, they're going to throw you in a hole and replace you in 2 seconds.
But my thing is also, not everyone is for the entrepreneur world, and that's totally okay too.
That's where I was going as well. Some people don't want to do it.
You've got to know your values. What are your value system? If you value going to a job, making you might be living a comfortable lifestyle, you get to go home to your family, and that's where you want to be, then that's totally cool. For us.
But it's all they know.
That's all they know. But they also, if that makes them happy, the ultimate goal here, guys, is to always find happiness.
Would Donald Trump ever think for a second of applying for a job?
No.
Like it's not his mindset. It's
Neither.
like it's like me going for a cigarette. Yes, I don't think about it.
But
when
things go bad for you, your natural thing is like, I'm gonna go back to the mines.
I have done.
For me, I was like, no fucking way.
Because I was changing my mindset, which is what we're helping people do. Like, one of our clients the other day, her business had some not failures, but like, it wasn't doing as well one week, and she's like, I almost like shut it down. I'm like, but why? Like that's when the growth.
Yeah, and that
because when you're pushed into that corner, you start moving differently, and that's when the growth happens. Because if your business just ticks over enough, then you won't do anything to get more. Like that's why at the moment with us, we had some things happen. We had our YouTube account happen. We had some other things happen. And then we were like, all right, what we need to do, and then we need to get a lot more people in to grow this community, and then I want to give other people opportunities keep the foundation up, to coach.
But I think also with that, guys, we're so good now. Like when shit starts like breaking, because in business it can break at any moment. Things will change. Things won't be the same as what they were maybe a year ago. We get excited now. Beforehand you'd be like freaking out, like fuck, like what are we gonna do? Blah. And now it's like, what's coming? What's the bigger thing? It makes us expand our mind. We're going to talk about in the next episode about our next moves for this year. But this came from we came back into Bali, and last year Bali truly served us. Bali was our stepping stone out of Australia and breaking through that, challenge of like block ceiling in our life. When we did that, then we started traveling well. We went to Dubai, America, all the things, Canada. And now we came back into Bali, and we're like, it's not serving us the same. We need more now. That's right. And so, we're gonna make some bigger moves, and we'll talk about it in the next episode. But yeah, I'm super excited, and I just want to end on this, guys, is that you can change your mindset at any time. Just because where you are right now does not mean you have to stay there. There are things that you can do today to break through it. You need to make a choice first and then commit. And that's all you need to do. We're no different to you. We had jobs. I was in DV, alcohol and drug abuse, ADHD, all the things, working for the man, anxiety through the roof, all that kind of stuff. We are exactly the same. We're not any more specialer. I don't know if there's a word, but
specialer is a word used at our retreat.
It is, yep. We are no different to you. We just chose to show up for ourselves. We chose that we didn't want to keep on feeling this way. We chose to do the work. We chose to break through generational shit. We chose to break through the chains that were so deeply ingrained in us.
Remember, your mindset is your perception. Your perception are your thoughts. Your thoughts are your feelings. Feelings turn to the way you act, the way you project.
And if you change that thought,
that action is
a projection of all the
directly linked to the way your future will turn out.
100%.
But if you go right back to the sport, a thought is just a thought, and a thought can be changed.
100%. And if you can change the thoughts, guys,
change the chain reaction all the way to your actions, to your future.
And that is how quickly things can change in your life. So please, if you're sitting here right now going, fuck yeah, I need a change, please reach out to us. Have a conversation. We'll jump on a one-on-one with you. We'll talk about what we actually do, and we'll give you some actionable tips on the call so you can change. I promise you're going to jump on that call, and you're going to feel the freaking shift. You are going to be like, holy shit. I just had a conversation with these guys. I was on that call for 1 hour, and the shifts I already feel is phenomenal. So if you want to know about what we do and how we can help you, please reach out. But yeah, it's been an awesome chat, and please just know that you guys can change at any moment. The moment that you decide, I've had a fuck enough, and I want a different life.
Make the choice before you have enough.
Make the choice today. You hear this?
Make the choice before you hit rock bottom.
If you listen to this, then you know this is your sign. Get in contact. Let's fucking do it.
Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for listening to another episode. I don't know why that's coming in today, but here it is. I'll spill the tea with Beau and Kirsty. If you got any value out of today, please do a shout out.
Which you did get value.
Of course. The value you got out of it, we'd love to hear back. Do us a shout out. We'll share it. Like and subscribe, follow, and we will see you on the next episode.
Love.
Let's go.